and welcome to another episode of Rockin' with Rahul and the Three Amigos. We have a special guest tonight, former NHL Philadelphia Flyers legend Brian Propp. Hey, Brian, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for
it's my,
coming
my
on tonight,
pleasure. I'm
Brian.
a little late, but at least we're here now.
That's right. Better late than never, man. Really.
Right.
So,
Brian, what was your favorite moment playing in the NHL?
Well, I just started when I got drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers in 78, 79. I was in the first round, number 14 over time, and so at that time, I played for 3 years for the Brandon Wheat Kings before that in Western Hockey League in Canada, and we had powerful teams, and so I won a couple scoring championships, and I won the best player in the Canadian league for left wingers in all-time history. And then so I was able to get drafted by the Flyers at the start, and I was really happy to get drafted by them.
Oh, I bet they were at the top. They were
Wow.
the team. All right. Okay. Let's see.
Who wants to have a turn answering the next question?
Well, I was going to ask Brian about his rising up in hockey. I mean, where did you start? Where did you start at? Did you start in juniors or where did you start?
Yeah, so my dad was a Lutheran minister, and I lived in a town of 300 people called Newdorf in Saskatchewan, in the middle of Canada, where it's cold and rainy and not flat, lot of farms, and so you just had less people in the town. So I started skating when I was 4 or 5 years old, and then my dad taught me how to be a good player right at that time. And thankfully, I was able to do pretty well. When I was 15 and 16, I won the championship scoring. And when I was 15 and 16 years old in the Malville Millionaires. So I tell people I was a millionaire once. And so I'm not now anymore. But and then I got drafted to the Brandon Wheat Kings, where they picked me. And so we were there for 3 years. I played with Ray Allison and Brad McCrimmon and Ken and a couple of players like that. We had good players and good coaches. And so didn't lose too much my first 3 years in Brandon. And I lived with another family the 3 years that I was there, 17, 18, and 19. And then I got drafted by the Flyers when I was 18 and 19 and went to the Flyers right there.
Yeah.
What which middle school and high school and college did you go to?
Well, there's only 10 or 12 people in the class for every grade. So you only had like 10 or 12 people in the class. And so that is a high school and public course. And so you found enough players just to to make a team. And so that's why a lot of ladies played hockey too, because they had to get a team together. And so like in high school, it was just a small little town of farming community. So you didn't know much better. You did what you did. You skated, had to school, and then didn't think about anything else. We're from the Midwest, where there's two TV channels, where one of them was snowy. So you just it's a different world at that time.
Wow. It's an interesting story.
and then we'll shift it over to when you got drafted by the Flyers. What did you like especially about the city of Philadelphia?
Well, I was really naive, and so my first year I lived with an older lady because her husband died the day before or the year before. So I rented a room from her, and then I just got she fed me some meals and did my laundry, and then but I was just like in Marlton, New Jersey, and that first year, and then and then my second year I lived with Mel Bridgman, and then I just didn't know what I was doing, but I was really naive, and so I didn't have a car. So I had to wait until I got a car. I got a loaner like my first year, and then I bought a car my second year. Like it only cost me $700 for the car, but that was all I could afford paid, because like we didn't make that much money in 79, 80, and I lived in $1,000 a month budget.
Wow. Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question about that, about as far as getting paid. Now, I'm sure that the hockey players of the 70s and 80s did not make what the hockey players make today. Nowhere near it.
Well, just you have to remember that there was a World Hockey Association and the NHL, and so that was in the 75, 70, 90, 75 and up, and then the league merged when I got drafted in 79, 80. So there was only one league, so you didn't have any bargaining with that. So my first 3 years in the NHL, I made 60, 65, and 70,000. Yeah, that was about all. And so like I said, I lived on $1,000 a month budget, because you have to take bills out of that, and
Right.
because we didn't make that much money. So it was different at that time, but you just played for the love of hockey and trying to be there.
Now, that was when the WHL folded and the two leagues came together. What the teams that were left over?
Yes,
Like
and so that was in 79, 90, and that's the year that they changed it to an 18-year-old draft. So that's why a guy like Ray Bork and Laurie Boschman were drafted before me, because it was 18-year-old draft. But we had better players in that year. That
Wow.
draft will be known as one of the best ever that they ever had. And so, but we had fun, and we just played for fun, and for a little money, but we had better stories in the 80s and 90s.
The names that you're dropping there, that was a that had to be a fantastic draft. You're talking about Ray Bork and all those other guys. I mean, Ray Bork, he came up with you, right? Did he?
Well, he was a year young. I mean, he played for Boston at the time. Brad McCrimmon was there, and Ray Ellison was there, and we had a couple other guys, and then of course like Turnell, and like the guys that played in the World Hockey Associations were there. Hartswell and a couple others like that. So it kind of merged it to make it like a different draft, where they had 18-year-old players that could be drafted before. When I was 19 when I got drafted, but it changed to an 18-year-old draft.
Now, you were saying that since the two leagues came together, you didn't have much of a way of getting compensated properly, because you weren't what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, you didn't make much money.
Yeah, you didn't make much money. But my question was this: when did the NHL unionize?
Well, they've been the union for a lot of years, but it just the way it worked is like they changed a lot. But with one league, there was only less bargaining at that time.
Right,
with one league. Otherwise, because say I played in the World Hockey Association, I would have probably made like 150,000 with two leagues, and so that bargaining would have been maybe a little more money, but it doesn't really matter. Like I was happy to be playing, and we have good stories, and I played for a lot of years, and you make it up, and you have opportunities with other work and things that you have, and you take advantage of what you can make, and your name and brand.
Well, I have to tell you that me and my buddies in Philly, down in Olney, we all appreciated everything that you did with the Flyers. We thought you were a kick-ass player, along with the other guys that you play with, Mel Bridgman and those guys. That was some group of people, and yeah, my buddy Bobby Fitzpatrick told me to tell you that he thought you were greatest. So I just wanted to lay that on you.
Yeah, well, my first year was a good year for me because I was a rookie, and that was the year we had the 35 undefeated streak. That was, which probably will never be broken. And then we went to the finals against the Islanders that year. And also, there was 7 of us that played in the NHL All-Star game and Gordie Howe was there. So that was very special for me because he was 51 years old,
Right.
and I, get to play against him. And we had, it was a new rink that they had in Detroit. It was the new rink in 1980. And so I played both times in the old rink and the new rink in 1980, and so that was special for me. But playing against Gordie Howe in his final year was awesome. Like the ovation that he got was like 15 minutes or longer, and because he was from Detroit, and so it was really special for me just to be a part of that. And also like in that game, like they played to win. It was a little. It wasn't like it is now.
Oh yeah.
I played with Phil Esposito and Reggie Leach on the line, and so I had a goal and an assist in my first All-Star game too.
Yeah.
Who
They always
was,
play to win. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
who was your first coach when you got drafted by the Flyers?
So Pat Quinn was a coach. He was really good, and Bob Clark, Bill Barber, and Reggie Leach, and of course Paul Holmgren and Kenny Linsman were with me, and then we had the tougher guys, and Bridgeton, and Al Hill, and T.G. Gorance, and and Frank Bathe, and so like it was, and Jimmy Watson was there. And Pete Peters was the goalie. He was a rookie too with Phil Meir. So that's why when the rookie of the year went to Ray Bork, because the two of us kind of split the baits that we got with Brian, with me and Pete Peters.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Who was your hero growing up?
Well, I always liked Jean Beliveau because from Montreal, because he was such a class player. Like he won 10 Stanley Cups, and he was just a great guy and things like that. So and just so you know, like I didn't watch much hockey growing up because I was just playing it for fun. And but on TV the Saturday night, I go to Montreal. I like Montreal because of all the Stanley Cups that they won, and the way that they played the game, and the way the players that they were playing against.
And those Montreal teams that you're talking about, they were fantastic. Jean Beliveau and all those guys. I wanted to mention this. Back in the 50s and 60s, maybe or before, when they were doing the draft, Montreal got the first French-Canadian player in the draft, and then it went on from there.
Yeah.
Right? That's how that went? Yeah.
Yeah, as in the 70s and 80s. And then when the Flyers came in 67, like they had expansion, and so a couple other teams were there too. So the Flyers were one of the fastest teams to win a Stanley Cup after 7 years, sort of like Vegas did a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was fantastic watching them, because I remember when they came into the league in '67, and they were all. I remember a lot of their players were smaller, and I remember them playing against the St. Louis Blues in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's when they had the the Plager brothers, and Noel Picard and all those guys, and they literally beat the living daylights out of the Flyers. And that's when Ed Snyder said that he was no longer going to let that happen to any one of his teams. And that's when he started bringing in Dave Schultz and those guys. But and so that's where the beginning of the fighting mentality that the Flyers were going to develop, because they weren't going to be picked on anymore. And,
which is their entity. So they learned from that, and then they got good, and with a good leader like Bob Clark behind him, and a great goalie like Bertie Perrant, it all kind of makes a difference.
Oh, basically, definitely. And I remember when Bernie played in the World Hockey League also. He played for the Philadelphia team. Him and Brent Sanderson from
Yeah,
Boston.
yeah.
He played
Derek
with
Sanderson.
yeah, Derek Sanderson. They played for the Philadelphia team.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's got the next question? You got a question, Basil?
I got it.
All right, William, go ahead.
Yeah. What was it like playing with Bobby Clark and with Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah, so like I played a line with Bob Clark and Reggie Leach my first 20 games. Like that was the year that we had the 35 undefeated streak, and then after 20 games, like I kind of switched with Paul Holmgren and Kenny Lensman as a line, and then of course playing Gretzky was there at the same time as I was, but he played less games because he was in Edmonton, so they only played twice a year, home and away. So it was tough to see him, but you heard all about how he was doing, and of course, like in after my career, like in going into the Stanley Cup Finals in 80, 85, 87, 90, and 90, 90 91, like I got to play a couple of world championships with Gretzky after the playoffs kind of left last, and then I played on the Canada Cup in 1987 with Gretzky and Lemieux on the line, two of the best players ever. Wow. And so like we won the gold that was here against the Russian teams, because at that time the Russians they just played for the win the tournaments that they had, because they couldn't get drafted, and it wasn't until 1990 that they could get drafted into the NHL, and so like they had to defect. So like that time, like the hockey was so much pure.
Right. It most definitely was. Go ahead, William. Did you have another question? You got that look on your face like you're ready to ask another question.
I actually do. Yeah, don't mean to take up the whole show, guys. I know you guys want to. I know Basil, you have questions to ask too.
Yep.
Uh, what were the steps that took you to get to the Flyers?
Well, just my consistency and playing with good teams and working hard, and my skating was really good, and my thinking, I thought the game really well, and I was such a consistent player. So junior kind of just taught me to that. Like I was one of the top scorers in the history of the game in the Canadian Hockey League, and then in 1999, I got voted in as the top left winger in the history of the game for left wingers. That was special for me in 1999, and so I was part of that. And just consistent, thinking the game, working hard, and being a good sport.
Yeah, a player's player.
Yeah, a good two-way player. Like I played both ends of the ice. Like that's in the 1980s. Dave Poole and I were probably two of the best penalty killers in the history. And so like it just playing with the good players and good team like the Flyers, you just had an opportunity just to get better.
Who was your closest friend when you were on the Flyers?
So I liked my closest friend was Brad McCrimmon, because I played Brandon in Brandon Wheat Kings with Brad McCrimmon and Ray Ellison. Like Ray was started in Hartford, and then he went to the Flyers after, and Brad went to the Flyers after Boston. And so the two of them are really good friends. Like I talked with Ray all the time, and of course Brad died in the plane crash in 2012 in Russia when he was a coach, because all the plane went down and then all those players got lost. And so, but and then of course another guy that I really admire is Mark Howe. Mark Howe was one of the best players that the Flyers have ever made, and one of the best all-time defensemen, all-time, World Hockey Association and the NHL.
Oh yeah, he was good. I remember when his brother and he were playing with the. Was it the Hartford Whalers?
Yeah, then Gordy was there too. That was my first year in 1979-80. Well, and so like I got to play against him in Hartford.
Well, there's a story that I remember from back then where the one son, not not the gentleman that played for the Flyers, the other brother,
Marty.
He got in a fight, and Gordy was watching it. Everybody was watching the fight, and then they went down to the ground, and Gordy went over there and took his two fingers and stuck them up the guy's nose, and he said, "If the fight's over, get up."
Yeah, well,
That sounds like
that
something
sounds
what
like
Gordy would
Gordy.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the well. He came from when all the hockey players were tough, and
Yeah.
he was a great offensive player. But you know, you had to play two ways too, and he was just incredible. I mean, he played with Ted Lindsay and I forget the other guy that was on their line with back in the 50s.
Phil Hop.
And
Yeah.
what was that?
Phil Hop.
Okay.
Sid Hop.
Sid Hop. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Detroit was always, they were always banging away, but that was back when there was only 6 teams in the NHL. So that must have been something.
Yeah. It changed so much now. Now there's 32 games, and next year they're going to have 84 games. And so the game has changed a lot. You got hurt a lot more in the 80s and 90s because you got hurt, because you got more physical, and now it's a little different game. It's faster, but they skate better, and you can't really get hurt that much, except for when the playoffs are there. Then it's a little different. But a lot of these guys can play every game and not get hurt, and so they play for 20-25 years and get all these points. But what do they accomplish? For me, I'm really proud of my playoff production. Because I'm, number 2 in the game for left wing scoring in the history for left wingers in the playoffs. Because Marchand just beat me a year ago, and then Ovechkin, he's 1 point behind me. But that was, he's played like 25 games, 25 years, and I just played 15 years, and so just still I'm proud of what I've accomplished.
Well, you should be, because they're 2 entirely different games. The game that you played back then was hockey at its, what I considered to be its finer moments. And then you have hockey today, which everybody's off on. It's all a race up and down the ice, bang. But it was nothing like part of the thing that turned us on to hockey in Philly, besides Gene Hart, was the fact that they hit hard, and through the middle of the 60s there was banging and there was fighting, and it was something that was very easy for the kids in Philly to adopt, playing street hockey.
Well, the white ladies liked the hockey fighting too, didn't they?
Oh yeah. I was down the spectrum a few times when there were fights going on, and there were ladies were up there and they were cheering for the fight. So they loved it too. They enjoyed that.
Well, I did the radio for 9 years, from 2000 to 2009 with Tim Saunders, and he's still there, and Fridge is now there, and Coatsy was there. So after my career, I played a year in France after that, and then I built a Medford ice rink in Medford for 3 years, and then I got the job with the Flyers, play-by-play and sport analysis for 9 years, and then I was at the Judge Group in Philadelphia for 5 years, and the last 12 years I've been with real estate. And I also have my cigar brand from the Dominican Republic, and a couple other things, and so keeps me busy.
We want to hear about the cigar brand you have coming from the Dominican.
And can you tell us about the real estate business also?
Yeah. Which one do you want to go first?
How about real estate?
Yeah, so the last 12 years, I've been working with commercial real estate in Marlton, but I decided to switch it a year and a half ago to more residential. So I'm working with Berkshire Hathaway, Fox, and Roche, but I can work anywhere in the U.S. But I'm just going to be a referral, And so I have a friend, Joe McGowan, who's helping me with New Jersey and Philadelphia area. And in Florida, like I have a lady in Naples area and Marker Island that's helping me. But anybody that wants a house from me, they can just call me back, and I'll be happy to list it and help with sell the house, because it's who you trust, and you work hard and you have the right person that ask questions, and as long as they trust the people that are referring you, it goes a long way. And so I always have the right people behind me with the real estate.
How's the house market now compared to back in the COVID days?
Well, it was a little different because now, like like people stayed at home and they used to travel a little bit more. But now, I'm at the shore in Seattle City for the summer, and it's still happening there. But for COVID, it was a little different because people stayed at home, and then of course I noticed that the market went up. Because of people were buying in other cities and leaving New Jersey and going to Florida or Texas or Georgia. So it helped with the real estate, especially someplace on the water.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to hear about the cigar business you got.
Okay, yeah. Well, so my cigars are guffaw-cigars.com, my website. Guffaw, GUFFAW -cigars.com. So I started that like nine years ago. I went with my friend Ken Dunnick, who was a former Eagle, and then my son Jackson Propp. We went to the Dominican Republic with a couple other friends. We were there for 6 days. So we checked out a couple of factories, and so I found how they're made, aged, and done the right way. And so I was always excited because I always liked a good cigar when I played golf, because growing up in Canada, we got Cuban cigars. And so I wanted my own brand to be quality and really good. So I started with my boxes of 10 limited edition 56 ring by 5-inch. And when they sold okay, the blend was really good, and everyone loves it. And the whole leaf and the filler is one of the best wrappers around. And so when they sold okay my first year, so I decided to branch out and do a 56 ring by 6-inch with a mild, medium Maduro cigar. And that started to go pretty good too. So now I have 3 other kinds. And a month ago, I just have another one. I just have a little smaller cigar now. It's still Guffaw, but it's a ring 50 by 5-inch. It's a little smaller, but still quality cigar. And for the cigars, a mild is usually a Connecticut wrapper, and so the taste is 80% of that taste is on the wrapper, and then the medium is one of the best wrapper in the world. And Maduro is a Maduro, but my Maduro is really good too. So anybody when it tries it, they keep reordering.
I'm sure. What was that name again? Guffaw. What?
Guffaw-cigars, like Guffaw-cigars.com.
Oh, dash. Okay.
Yeah.
Can if anybody wants to get it, where should they go? Can they get it from
Well, I tell people if they think, because my BrianPropp.com website has a lot of more information on it. So if they want to go to that site, because it has the cigars, it has all the things that I've been doing, the appearances, the other things that I've been working with, the real estate. So if they go to my BrianPropp.com website, if they want to order cigars, they can. If they want to order my book is available too. My book is Angel on My Wing from Triumph Books. It's about my stroke and how I recovered from my stroke. Like I had my stroke 10 and a half years ago. And so it took me long to get better. Like I couldn't talk or walk at all at the start. And so I've come a long way from that. And And it's been almost like in November, it'll be two years where I wrote a book with Wayne Fish and myself about my faith, a little bit of hockey, my stroke, and how I recover from my stroke, Angel on My Wing.
Yeah, that stroke, that must have been extremely scary when you couldn't talk or you couldn't walk.
Well, of course, I had AFib after my career, and so like I knew that I was, I had to take a blood thinner, but I had an ablation of the heart, which was a 6-hour operation, and so when I did that, like, and I thought I was going to be okay without taking a blood thinner because I was, 57, 50, 60 when I had the ablation. And so like I thought I was going to last for longer, but I still skated twice a week with a group of guys at Pennsauken Skate Zone. It's a morning hockey groups that I was playing with. And so I was in good shape. And so I didn't notice it. And so I was in Annapolis visiting my son Jackson's school, Navy Yard. And so like the first day I was okay. The second day I had a really bad headache. That night in the middle of night, I just fell out of bed, hit the side of the bed. All these years playing hockey, lost a tooth, and it did play hockey. All those years playing hockey, didn't lose a tooth. And then, of course, couldn't make sense. And so, like, thankfully, my family is there to call 911 because I couldn't communicate at all, and it was really difficult at that start. So the scans that the doctors told me about, like they said I should have died.
Wow.
So that's probably where my faith with my dad being a minister and family there and Flyers alumni came in to rescue me.
You did have an angel on your wing, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Basil.
What was it like playing on the Bruins, the North Stars, the old Minnesota team, and the Whalers, the original Carolina team?
Yeah, so like for me, like it was like after 11 years with the Flyers, I got traded at the end of that year because I had a high hand injury, like I had a hole in my artery, and so I missed 27 games for doing that. And then so at the end, like I got traded to Boston in the end of '90 with Dave Poulin got traded that year too. And so I was happy just to kind of move over because Bob Clark was a GM, and then he got fired, and he brought me to Minnesota. So I went to Minnesota for 3 years, and then we went to the finals after the next year. So it was good timing for me because they went to the finals in Boston against Boston, and then in finals in Minnesota. And then of course Minnesota, I loved that, and I was there for 3 years, and then I ended up with Hartford, and so like that was kind of cool, to kind of wind down, and and I got hurt a little bit, but you're still able to get my 1,000 games and 1,000 points at the end, which was special. And then I decided to play a year in France.
How was that? How was playing in France?
Well, it was pretty good because it's kind of like the hockey was sort of like American Hockey League hockey, but it was better than people expected. And so like I just enjoyed my time there because I was right in Biarritz, which is right on the coast, on the ocean of Atlantic Ocean, and so good surfing there because it's the best second best surfing in the world because the Gulf of Mexico into Atlantic has good waves, and so but I didn't surf there because the guys that France did, but no, I couldn't take that chance.
Out of all the places you played for, who has the best fan base?
Well, of course, the Philadelphia Flyers do. They're nuts. The tri-street area, like even on this podcast, like I know, our Flyers alumni has kind of mentioned that I'm going to have you here tonight, and so like they'll probably listen to a lot of that, and so like just they're great fans, and thank good for them. Last year they got into the playoffs, which was they kept winning and winning and winning, but you never know, you get a chance to win, and they beat Pittsburgh, and then of course Carolina was a little tough, but they're building, they have younger players, and so it's good for them. I mean, and Talkett's done a really good job, and Briere and Jones done a really good job of understanding the right younger players.
Now, excuse me, are you involved with the Flyers now? Are you involved with any of their
I'm just
outreach?
part of their Flyers board, alumni board. So like there's like eight of us, and so like I've always been there for a few years, and so I keep track of what's going on, and we help a lot. Like we just had in June, like we had a nice weekend. We had pickleball, we had a walk and a run and a bike ride, and we had a golf tournament. Like we had 50 Flyer alumni that whole weekend. So like it made it special because you got to visit with other people, talk with them the whole weekend, and so that was such a nice time. And with the Flyers alumni does so many with the charities, and I have my own golf tournament at River Winds for the Stroke Center, University of Pennsylvania, and so the Flyers alumni had a foursome for me, and so it's every day after Mother's Day, like it'll probably be May 10th this next coming year. And so like, I have groups together that I have from last year. And so just give back to the Stroke Center, University of Pennsylvania.
I have a question.
Go ahead, William.
How many times have you been in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Stanley Cup?
How many times at Eastern
Conference Finals and Stanley Cup?
Well, probably 5.
Yeah, and you just
I was in 5 Stanley Cup Finals, and so, but that so like I was 5 of them.
Okay.
Oh, what about the Stanley Cup?
That's what he said. 5 Stanley Cup finals he played in.
Oh, okay.
Didn't win any, but like we in the 80s it was tough because the Islanders were 4 in a row, and then Edmonton was 4 in a row, and then it was a little tough because like the way the hockey was at that time, like you could play for 3 or 4 or 5 years, 8 years with other teams. Now they kind of mix it around. Like the top players get taken for years, and then the 2 lines, like the 2 back kind of get replaced every couple of years.
How was the lifestyle in Canada different from USA when you were playing hockey?
Yeah. Well, of course, it was a farming community, and so like I just delivered newspapers, and you did whatever I can, and went to school, and everyone loves hockey in Canada, and that's kind of true. Cheer on it all the time, and so just a big fan of the Canadian players, and the way that they're proud of their way they play.
Yeah, when I remember when early on when there were only 6 American-born players in the NHL.
Oh yeah. Well, and then it changed in 1980 when the Olympics. I mean, because hockey excluded after the Olympics in 1980 when US won, and that really helped a lot of people there. And now they have more coaches and players from the US that are in college that have a chance to make it themselves.
Right. Yes.
Do you like Canadian bacon better or American bacon better?
Canadian bacon. Yeah, it's so much good.
What kind of question is that?
Yeah.
He's a hockey player, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Have some respect, damn it.
Can I ask next question?
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you think of the current Flyers? What do you think they need to do to get to the next level?
Well, I think they've done a good job. Like they're signing a couple other players, but now if the new contact comes together, that's a lot of money. But they'll have one of the best players in the league playing for them. In another two more days, we'll probably know what's going on. So that could make a big difference. And but the goalies, he's signed for 5 years, and so that helps. And then the younger players that they have a chance, and they just have to keep working on it. And they play the same way every year. They're tough to play against, and you get into playoffs and next year, and you never know.
I heard you know who Claude Giroux is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Did you hear about? I'm sure you heard the news by now. He might be coming back to the Flyers.
No, he already signed to Ottawa.
Yeah, he did that today.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did.
With Ottawa.
So he's definitely coming back.
No, he's in Ottawa.
Going to Ottawa. He's going to stay there.
Ottawa.
Yeah,
He-
which
he-
is
he's-
good for us, because I didn't really want him there.
You didn't care too much for Claude Giroux?
He's too old and slow right now. I mean, that's my thought, but
Mm-hmm. What happens to everybody, right?
yeah.
When you were playing for the Flyers, who was their owner back then?
Well, Ed
Right.
Snyder, he still was. He's one of the top leaders all over. Like, I know after my stroke, he really helped me a lot after that, because like I couldn't afford to pay my bills, and so he helped me with that. And so that's how a nice guy he was, just to help in the ways that I needed at that time, because really tough. Not even able to talk, and being in the hospital for 6 months, and
wow.
just having to lie in bed and not get in, and but yeah. So like he helped me a lot.
What was your favorite moment with Ed Snyder?
Yeah, so like well, he was passionate about his hockey, and of course I was in 3 Stanley Cup finals in 80, 85, and 87, which you wish that we could have won, but a bounce here and there makes a big difference. We lost game 6 in Edmonton, in Islanders in overtime. If we win that game and we go back to game 7 in 80, maybe we probably win there. But but he was passionate, and he did whatever he can just to put the right people together to build a team and try to build a leader, a winner.
I remember in '87 when you were playing
Edmonton.
Gretzky, yeah, Edmonton. Doug Crossman missed the goal, no more by about 18 inches. The ball just went right over the net. It was like, if he had scored that goal, the game would have been completely different.
Oh yeah, I know, because that was we score first, right. And then Hextall played out of the way his mind that year, and then Mark Howell was so good, and but yeah, like you said, it was 2-0. You never know, but exactly. If what and why, right. If little word with a big meaning.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think the people in Philadelphia are so proud of our effort. To get into the Stanley Cup Finals. Like they admire that and the work ethic that the Flyers have, and the quality, the character that they have.
Yeah, if people in Philadelphia, that's it's a blue collar town, and that's what they want to see their players, regardless of whatever sport they're playing, but especially with the hockey. They like to see a good game going up and down. You see a lot of banging. And guys that know what they're doing and how this set plays up, and all the things that you did well with the Flyers, that that other players work hard to be able to do well,
right?
Yeah. So I mean, you were the best left-hand shot in the league.
Bill Barber was with Bill Sarver. He won a Hall of Fame, and so hopefully I get there one of these years.
I hope so. He deserve it. Bill Barber was a hell of a player. He was. He was something. Go ahead, Rahul.
Whenever you would step onto the ice, what was your motivational?
Motivation.
So my motivation was like to play as a team. You play as a team, you win as a team, and you lose as a team. And so but thankfully for me, I had good players and good coaches and good support So like that's why I was able to play as well as I did with the better players like Tim Kerr and Dave Poulin and Tockett and Mellenby and you name it. And then with Minnesota, like Madonna and Gagnon and Boston, it was Bork and Neely and so I played with some of the best players in the league. And so like just for me, it just proud, to try as hard as you can and be consistent and give yourself a chance to win every game. And so that's the way we did. I looked at it.
Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, that's the way to play. That's the way to do anything, really. Right? I mean, you're going to go out there to do the very best you can, and if for some reason you get knocked down, you just get back up.
Yeah. So like my dad always taught me that just be happy with your own life. The rest of your whole life will take care of itself. And so I learned that when I left Brandon. So I was independent. And so I learned at that time just to be happy with yourself and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah.
How was your feeling when you heard you were going to be inducted into the Flyers Hall of Fame?
Well, that was special to me because Mark Howe it helped me and induct me, and so like but that was of course everything for the Flyers is special. I've been there for 11 years and did a lot with the team. I still in the area here, and it's been 47 years since I've left, and so I'm happy to be in New Jersey and Florida and helping the Flyers and the charities and everything that we've got. So to me, I'm just proud to be part of the Flyers.
And people remember the players in Philly and in the South Jersey area. That's what people live for.
Yeah. No, it was really close with Bernie Prawn, and unfortunately he passed away like 8 months ago. So he lived close to me in Avalon and MCL, and so he loves cigars, and so I have cigars with him. And but just he had good way with people, and for me it was just peaceful, and we had a good time together, and we just we enjoyed our company and just have a good cigar and dinner and with our family, and so it all works well. And as long as you're happy with your life, a lot of things takes care of itself.
Yeah. We just had Bernie Perron's wife Jeannie on our show not too long ago, just last month.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty close with her. My wife Eileen is with Jeannie a lot. She tries to you stay in front. Like it just it's a little bit tough on her because Bernie was here all the time, and so just just take some time. Just sort of like my stroke. Like my stroke had to slow it down. Just take your time, and your brain take some time to heal. And so you can't rush everything.
Yeah.
Basil, you got some questions?
Yeah. Do you have a motivational quote for the viewers? I know Rahul usually asks this at the end.
Yeah. So like I think like what I said before, about my dad, like he was such a mentor for me. So like, and I just like to let people know that live your life yourself and be happy with your life. Everything else takes care of itself.
There's words to live by.
Brian, what kind of charity event do you do for Philadelphia?
Well, I run my own golf tournament every day after Mother's Day, like at River Winds golf course, Ron Joris Golf Club, and so like every May I run a golf tournament that supports the Stroke Center at University of Pennsylvania, and I have a charity hockey event that I play in March or April every year. Before it was with Headstrong Cancer. And this next year, like I might switch it up to be the veterans or something like that. So like that's what I do myself. And I play a lot of charity from Jaworski's golf events and with Flyers alumni. and all over Florida and the Philadelphia area. Lots of times to play golf.
Do you ever help out with the Flyers Flyers fair that happens in Philly every year?
Yeah, well, I was there most of the time, but but now I'm in Florida. Like the I couldn't make that last year, but usually I try to get back for that. But it's in February, and so and I have a charity hockey event that I play in Florida in February too. So it kind of evens it up.
Out of all the Philadelphia team, the sports team, who do you think is the next team to win a championship?
Well, of course, the Philadelphia Flyers. They're young and growing fast, and so but the Eagles are going to be good again too, and the Phillies, have a chance, and there's even the 76ers. So
yeah, they got Jaylen Brown.
It's pretty good that all four teams, like in 1980, all four teams went to the finals that year.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, so that's very rare. And unfortunately, the Islanders beat us, but otherwise we could have had two teams winning a championships in 1980.
Yeah, that's right. All the four major teams made it to the finals that year.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. With the Phillies winning the World Series.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Do you think LeBron James will sign with the Sixers?
Yeah, I was just about to talk about LeBron James.
Oh yeah.
Do you think LeBron James will sign with the Sixers?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I let that out of the people that make decisions, just sort of like like Danny Briere and Jones. I let them make their decisions because they're better at knowing what's going on than me. I just a fan.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's great having you on the show tonight. It really has been. I mean, it's been a dream of mine to meet you. So it's because I was a young man when you were playing, and I always enjoyed it, and I enjoyed those Flyers teams. I mean, they were
the fights.
Oh, yeah, they were
passionate
play. Yeah, passionate. Right. Yeah.
So if you want just make sure that you put down my brianpropp.com website because it has a lot more information on that. Everything's updated, and so there's lots of things to check out, and so and you can order cigars through me too.
Okay.
When you were playing hockey, how many fights did you get into, and what was the hardest fight you got into?
Well, so I was in 5 fights, but I didn't have to fight that often. But I beat Dennis Savard, pretty handfully. But I won all my 5 fights, because we had the tough guys protecting me.
You didn't have, in other words, you didn't have to fight. Is that what you're saying, Brian?
Well, not really, but but every once in a while you get into it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I dig it.
Before we wrap things up, Brian, do you have any message to all the Philadelphia fans and all the Flyers fan and everyone out there that supported you? Do you have any message for them?
Yeah, I just want to after my stroke, I just told people to keep up the hope because a lot of people have problems, like they don't rehab the best, and so just teach them to never give up hope. And then you'll live your own life like that better just by making sure that you're doing the things that you do. And for the athletes in the Philadelphia area, I love them all. I go to more of the football golf tournaments and the Phillies and the 76ers I don't see too much, but the Flyers alumni. And so I know a lot of those players from the 80s and 90s, and I connect with a lot of them. And so we stay as friends, and a lot of those guys, they love cigars too.
Yeah, well, that's something that runs through all of us.
Does that include the Legion of Doom group, Michael Renberg, Eric Lindros, and John Clare?
LeClaire.
Yeah, they were like I played against them because I was in Hartford at that time. But they were tough to play against because they're so big and strong. I mean, how do you defend any of that? But so that was pretty tough.
I met Michael Renberg, Brisard. He signed my Flyers chain.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I think he's from Sweden, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He lives in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John LeClaire is like in PA, and then Eric Lindros is in Toronto area.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? But wasn't Lindros? Wasn't he from this area, the New York area or whatever? Because
No. He grew up in Canada, in Toronto.
Canada. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so he's got like 3 kids there now. So like he's been there like after hockey.
Yeah, I wonder if any of his kids are as big as him. He was a
You're
big
probably
boy.
getting there.
Yeah.
Do young like young kids and young mentors come to you for advice on how to play hockey and how to be a better hockey player?
Yeah, a couple of times do, but like with me being in Florida, like I don't get a chance to talk to them as much. But I let people know, hey, listen, if they're interested, they could just call me, and I'd be happy to talk to them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I have your BrianPropp.com. It's BrianPropp.com, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I have it written down right here, so we can check that out and see what we can find in there. See what we can dig through.
Yeah. You'll get in.
All right.
Charlie, are you gonna get a cigar from him?
Of course I will.
Yeah.
Nothing better than smoking a real cigar.
Yeah.
Charlie, have you smoked cigars before?
Yes, I did. And yes, I did. Yes, I have. I've been smoking cigars for a long time, longer than you've been alive.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to say that to somebody. I've been doing this longer than you've been alive.
Yeah. Well, Basin's a little younger, so he probably remembers.
Yeah. No, I've been smoking cigars, I guess, since I was in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on the show, Brian.
Oh, thank
I
you.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and pass the word. Let everybody know that we're not that bad.
Now it's time for me to do the closing statement, right, Rahul?
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, Will.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Rockin' with Rahul and the Free Amigos. Please click and subscribe to our channel, and to be sure to follow us on Instagram. Thank you and have a good night. See you all next week on our next episode.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Yes, and thank you, Brian.
Thank you for being on with us tonight, Brian. We enjoyed having you on.
You're welcome.
And I'll finish the rest of your book. Don't forget.
Nice.
Yeah. See ya.
Brian, there's a viewer named Rick Barlow. He said you're horrific.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. We do. Oh, someone said that in the YouTube in the chat box, Rahul.
Yeah, Rick Barlow.
I want to check that out right now.
We just let that. We just let him fly by us. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna say good night and let Brian get on. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Have a great night, man.
See ya.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining, Brian.
So, what did you think of that show, boys?
Awesome. I think it's pretty good, actually.
How did I do tonight?
You did fine,
William. I think you did a kick-ass job.
Rahul, what do you think? What is your thoughts?